Hey everybody, Chris Blatnick from InterfaceMatters.com here. I wanted to spend a few minutes showing you something I've been working on lately, which is my paper workflow process. I've mentioned on Twitter and Facebook over the last couple weeks that I'm working on a project I call Operation Paperless Office. Essentially what I'm working on is digging through all my file cabinets, all of the paper that I have laying all over the place, and trying to digitize that and get rid of it, store it in a much more efficient manner. Many of you know that I utilize the GTD, or Getting Things Done methodology, and David Allen has a pretty extensive collection of articles and tips, and goes into a lot of detail in his book about how you store paper and the best way to do that within file cabinets and things of that nature. However, over the years I've amassed a pretty massive collection of papers, and I just find it easier nowadays, since I'm always on the computer in some way, shape, or form, to find that information very quickly through search mechanisms and other database mechanisms that we have available to us, rather than having to go through and dig through the paper in a physical file cabinet. And the fact of the matter is, I'm often on other computers, whether that be in my house somewhere else or on the internet somewhere else, and I need access to one of those things that used to be stored away in the file cabinet. Now if I have it available to me some way in the cloud or through a Notes Domino database that I can replicate, I think that's a much more efficient way of handling all of this stuff that we have coming in on a daily basis. And so this will probably be a two-part series here. The first thing I want to do is show you the initial input to the system, which would be scanning of the documents. So of course, a lot of the things I do nowadays, I pay most of my bills online, and I get receipts for that automatically via email. So those can easily then be transferred to PDF and never actually are in paper form at all. But what do I do with this legacy of two large file cabinets here full of paper? I'm going to utilize what I think is one of the coolest devices out there right now, and that's actually the Fujitsu ScanSnap. So let's take a look at that. I'll explain a little bit about the Fujitsu ScanSnap itself, and then we'll dig into the paper workflow processing that I'm using. So I'm going to take you over here, and we'll take a look at the ScanSnap unit sitting on my desk here. And this particular device, it's pretty cool. If you could see here, just kind of look at the dimensions very quickly, and then I'll pan back a little bit and see here's my desk with the dual monitor set up, and so you can tell that the device itself is actually pretty compact. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space on the desk here. What I'm looking at is the Fujitsu ScanSnap S510, which was the most recent model. However, it's been supplanted by a better version now. It does a little bit more in terms of the functionality, in terms of the paper input, number of sheets, I think, and perhaps the speed. But I find this little device to be absolutely perfect for what I'm looking for. So let's open it up. This device is really nice because it automatically powers itself on as soon as you open it. It's connected via USB. All I have to do is pop open the lid here. You'll notice that the light turns on, and it expands to give me the whole scanning surface. And I can actually pop out the little paper extender here a little bit, and also up top. Pull that up, and so now the unit is completely ready for action. And in essence, it couldn't be easier. Once you pop that open, it's just simply a matter of sticking the paper in and hitting the scan button, and the software that's installed along with this goes into action. So I've actually got a couple things I just grabbed here real quick in my processing. And note that what is very cool about the ScanSnap is you can throw all kinds of different size paper in there at the same time, scan it all at once, and it'll handle it just beautifully. I have here, out of one of my existing file cabinet folders, some of the paint specifications that we used in our house. So I've got a little slip here from Home Depot. Actually got the label off of a Olympic can, and I've got a Sherwin-Williams receipt here as well. And I'm just going to take this whole stack and shove it into the ScanSnap. So one of the very cool things about this device is the speed at which it scans. There are actually a few things that drew me toward this unit. One was the fact that it is a paper feed system rather than a flatbed scanner. I already have a flatbed scanner, great for doing photos or just 1 or 2 off sheets, but would quickly become cumbersome if you're scanning a lot of pages, and in this case I'm scanning thousands of documents, so that would be pretty inefficient. Also, speed is of the essence, probably the most critical component when you're doing a very, very large scanning job, and this unit certainly satisfies the bill in that perspective as well. And it's almost too fast. In this little demo here, I've got 3 sheets of paper in the device to show you how this works very quickly. And I'll try to pan over to the PC to show you the software as it kicks off. As soon as I hit the scan button and pan back to the device, it'll actually go so quickly that it'll be hard to catch that all in action. But let's go ahead and initiate that. I'll click the scan button here. This kicks off the process. Come over to the PC, and it has recognized that the scanning is now in process. Let's grab the first one, it's done the label, and now it's actually on the 3rd sheet here. And we're done. So now here on the PC, we have the fact that it tells me that the scanning is completed, and this is the ScanSnap Manager software that's appeared, and it in fact gives me a little preview of the last page that was scanned, and it tells me that it's done 3 sheets here, so we scanned from up to 3 sheets, and I can continue scanning. So at this point I could actually shove another stack of papers in and they would be appended to the scanned item, or I can click on the finish scanning button. So I'm going to do that. So I click on the finish scanning button, and in this case I selected the option to scan to a folder. So I now have the ability to name this file, and it's going to be saved as a PDF, and I have the ability to save it to a destination folder. And of course you can set up defaults for all of these things. But here I see the label, and it was very nicely scanned. I've got the receipt from Home Depot and the receipt from Sherwin-Williams. And let's just go ahead and leave that default file name, and I'm going to save it into this folder called Demo. So I'll hit save on that. And now if we come over here and look at the demo, there is the document we just created. I'll go ahead and open that PDF. And if we just come back here to the other monitor, just shrink this down a little bit, and indeed we have a nice scan of all of this content. So this is very, very cool. I mean, we've got all the details here, and this is pretty amazing when you think about it, and the fact that you could just start scanning labels, recipes for magazines, pretty much anything that you could think of.